So something that I forgot when I started making these videos is I want to be able to include some tables and some charts and things in my paper to kind of show how the data is laid out. There's lots of different ways to go about this, but one of probably the best ways to do it with a chi-squared project is to show a pie chart of your data. And there's a specific pie chart that I think works really, really well. So I'm going to show you how to make that in Excel, because Excel will make basically any kind of graph you want. So I'm going to go back to Excel. In this table, I'm in my chi-squared area where I'm doing all my calculations. What I want to show is kind of how the male-female breakdown goes among these categories. So I'm going to highlight my table, not the totals, just the male-female and those cells right there. These are my observed frequencies. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Insert. All right, and in Insert, you've got all kinds of charts here that you can do. All right, bar graphs, you can do different kinds of bar graphs, and hierarchies and stuff. I think for chi-squared, this pie chart works really well. The bar graph is a decent thing. Sorry, that's the wrong one right here. The bar graph or the column chart works well too. I'll make both of them. So here's the pie chart. But what I suggest is that you do a donut chart, because the donut chart shows both things on the same picture. So I'm going to click donut. It's going to make this thing for me right here. There's different things that I can, different styles up here that I can do. You can pick one. I wouldn't use that when it doesn't show up really well. Okay, but some of them, they put the percents right on there. There's more of them if you click down. I like one that is a little bit thicker and darker. So let's see. I don't like the percents to be on there though. So I'm going to go with that one. All right, so I'm going to click that. Now this is again floating on top here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this over here. And I can click on here and change my chart title. So I'm going to put gender versus pair. Okay. And then I can click on different things. It tells me, but if I go back over here, it's got these things. So that little thing changes my chart styles. This thing changes my chart filters, but this little plus here will add or remove things. So you can put data labels on there, you can put a chart title on there. If I click this little arrow here, it'll move the chart title around the legend, all right, which is down there. If I take the legend off, it's there. If I click it, I can change where the legend is. All right, I kind of like it. I mean, I don't really care. I'm going to put it over there. All right, and then I'm going to click more options for a second and see if I can do another thing. I'm not sure. That changes where it is. And that's just going to change the text. All right, so I'm going to leave it like that where it is. I'm going to click out of there. And then you can make it bigger, you can move it around. All right, let's leave it like that, but let's, whoops. All right, there we go. I want to grab it, and then I want to move it over there, like that. Now, I'm going to want to make sure that I explain which is which. Okay, the inside is male and the outside is female. It kind of decides that on its own. All right, but I can then click on this and click Control-C, and I can paste this right into my Word file and get it right in there when I'm actually writing my paper. So this is very useful. Let me make a bar graph. So I'm going to click off of that. I'm going to highlight this stuff again. I'm going to go back to Insert, and I'm going to go to this bar graph right here. All right, and it's got different kinds. So any of these different kinds that I want to use, I would suggest for something like this, I'm going to use a very basic one like that. All right, and maybe in my project, it might make more sense to do this. All right, so I'm going to click that. I'm going to drag this down, put it over here so it's kind of out of the way of everything else. I'm going to close that for a second. All right, now I want labels on stuff. All right, so I'm going to first of all change this to gender versus hair. All right, so there's my title. But I want this to say number of pairs of shoes, and this to say frequency. So I am going to go click on, so it's got the whole thing. Here's my plus. All right, and there's axis titles. All right, there's data labels. You can go down through there. It'll show you what everything is. Error bars. Grid lines, legend, trend lines. All right, I just want axis titles. So I'm going to click axis titles. And then what I can do is if I go here, I can put number of pair of shoes owned. And this is frequency. All right, so that's nice and labeled. Okay, it's got a key down here and all of those things. Now I'm not going to lose any points because things aren't labeled. Again, I can paste that right in there. So if I'm doing this, I don't want both of them. Okay, I definitely do not want both of them. All right, I don't get more points for more charts. I would maybe use the bar graph for mine. All right, it kind of shows, and then I'm going to make an inference from it and say, you know, the gender doesn't appear to affect the number of pairs of shoes owned. Maybe I can go back though, and I can look at it from a different perspective and look at my age and see if that has more of an effect on here, because that's part of what this paper is centered around.